Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful!
This is exactly what I was looking for!
DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir, you know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with Starsat.
The coronavirus outbreak.
Experience the extraordinary.
Tremendous waste and tremendous fraud. Mexico is, in fact, you will soon find out.
It is a day to celebrate.
We don't approve at all what's going on.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unusual.
Challenge your ordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Experience the extraordinary with Starsat.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network, where we are zero favor and zero fiction. My name is Rorisa Wanahatan, and of course, I am not alone. I'm with the Queen, Palesa Muchiminyani.
And just to give you a tip, what Rory was saying just a few seconds ago, she's like, who's opening? We're opening it. Anyway, this is the world of TV. Yes, I am Palesa Muchiminyani, and welcome to Galaxy Universal Network. Yes, we are fearless, zero favor, and of course, zero fiction. We are on channel 500 on Starsat, and this is the Midday Express show. Yeah. Let me take you through to the headlines. Now, the Standing Committee of Public Accounts, SCOPA, here's how Eskom is hunting down looted billions. And the DA's former leader, Mmusi Maimane, drags President Cyril Ramaphosa to court. And the VBS looters fail to make bail. And on our Africa Story, do you want to take us to that headline?
Yes, Kenya is appointed a non-executive member for the UN Secretary Council.
And on our entertainment stories, these are our favorite stories on the Midday Express show.
Yes, we have a beautiful Scar Foundation's Rethabile Lichaba today, who's going to be bringing hope to the youth.
Oh, yes. I'm looking forward to Rethabile's interview. She is a motivational speaker, and she also
PR specialist as
PR
well.
Specialist.
Yes.
Wonderful. So stay tuned, because definitely for sure, Rethabile Lichaba will definitely be joining us, on the phone. But otherwise, let's take a look at Thursday's news. Well, Eskom has told Parliament that it expects to get only 1.26 billion rands from the claim it submitted against the business rescue practitioners of Tegeta for contractual penalties owed to the power utility. And Dan Mashego of Eskom told Parliament's public accounts watchdog SCOPA that on Thursday evening. Now, due to Tegeta having other creditors, Eskom bosses have been informed they were only likely to recover 1.26 billion rands when the process of winding up the business is completed. And Mashego explained that the estimated amount owed by Tegeta was 5.6 billion rands, and it relates to penalty claims since February 2018. Eskom placed 3 of its coal suppliers on a business rescue. And Mashego further said that there were already penalty claims before the companies were placed in business rescue, which related to both quality and supply. Eskom is also hoping to recoup about 4 billion rands in overpayments to 4 contractors at the Kusile power plant. The CEO, Andre de Ruyter, told MPs that the matter first surfaced in October of 2019 when Parliament's Standing Committee on Appropriations was informed of the ongoing investigations by the Special Investigative Unit into the overpayment to contractors at the Kusile. And some of the companies are still operating at Kusile. The MPs had this. The overpayments are just some of the funds Eskom is trying to recover or has recovered from a range of other companies. And another company, Africa Wide, was awarded the contract by Eskom without an open and competitive tender process. Eskom documents shows that the original contract value at 9 million rands was allegedly modified without National Treasury approval to 17 million rands, and Eskom is trying to recover the amount. And Dr. Reiter said that on the 31st of March in 2020, Eskom Industrial Relations Department had registered a 141 disciplinary cases emanating from forensic investigations. Of these, 133 had been completed and 8 were still in progress. And on our next story, a former Democratic Alliance leader, DA Mmusi Maimane, said that the fact that government was so keen to reopen schools was because they wanted to reopen the economy. Maimane went on to say that the whole purpose was to free up workers from their duties of caring for their children so that they could assist in the main objective, which was to reopen the economy. And according to Maimane's lawyers, the measures taken by the government in response to the national disaster brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in the prima facie violation of the threatened violations of rights of people and citizens enshrined in the Bill of Rights. His lawyers contended that there was no credible evidence that the health infrastructure and facilities had been sufficiently capacitated to cope with the current and unanticipated spike in the COVID-19 cases. Maimane and his organization, as first and second applicant respectively, are challenging the reopening of schools under the level 3 of the lockdown, which came into effect on June. And they are also challenging the country's move from level 4 to level 3 of the lockdown, and the matter that was set down for hearing on Thursday and on Friday.
Can we just look a bit at that story, Palesa? You know, with kids and teachers now going back to school, and some cases breaking out of teachers actually testing positive for COVID-19, and you get some schools that actually want the teachers to continue going to school and keep it on a hush that there are actually confirmed cases. It's things that we need to look at about the safety as well. Is it really safe to actually be going back to school?
So Mmusi Maimane could actually, be having a point there, but because I always say that with this issue, of reopening of the schools, it is only those schools that are really the private schools. But unfortunately, in townships and, of course, in rural areas, it is the underprivileged that are actually suffering, because our public schools are definitely not anything closer to the private schools. Right now, it is winter, Rorisa. Most private schools, they've got heaters, they've got windows and, closed ceilings. But in public schools, it is a different case. So in a way, I don't know, I would say that Mmusi Maimane's got a point there. So yeah.
Yeah, we just can't really wait to see how this will actually play out in court.
And he's also saying that this is actually the reason why they open schools is because it's going to benefit the economy.
The economy at the end of the day.
Maimane knows better than us. Rory, take us to the rest of the stories.
On our next story, Julius Malema's close ally and alleged kingpin, Chifiwa Madodzi, appeared in the Palm Ridge Regional Court on charges related to fraud, corruption and theft of billions of rands. Now, the former chairperson of VBS Mutual Bank and his shareholder, Vele Investment, was accused, and during his bail application, Madodzi told the magistrate court that he was unemployed and that he owned no assets. At the same time, the state indicated that it would not be opposing bail. Now, the group is accused of stealing more than 1.5 billion by creating ghost bank accounts, and the state has lined up to 42 witnesses that will be testifying against the accused. Now, an 80-page indictment shows that the 8 men are former VBS Mutual Bank and former CFO Philip Truter, former KPMG partner Sipho Malaba, amongst many others. Now, prosecutors told the magistrate that Madodzi bribed all his co-accused and offered them gratification in order to influence them, which is defined in legal terms as to act in a manner that amounts to the illegal, dishonest, unauthorized, and incomplete or biased exercise, carrying out or performance of any powers, duties, or functions arising out of a statutory, contractual, or any other legal obligation. Now, earlier on our Pan-African morning show, our anchor Palesa Muchiminyani and Sisanda had a telephone interview with the MPA spokesperson Sipho Weber. Now, let's take a look at the clip.
The matter was converted into a police docket in May last year. And you must appreciate that commercial cases are very complicated. And the difference between the investigation that was done by Advocate Matau and the investigation that was done by this team is that this one is a criminal investigation. So the purpose of it is to go to court so that people can be convicted. So when you do that, you need to have your credible witnesses, you need to have your formidable, have all your evidence. And that means you have to be thorough. That means that you don't have to leave anything in terms of taking that matter to court. So the other ones, the evidence was not tested. And in this particular case, the evidence is going to be tested. Witnesses are going to be called. So you need to be ready. You need to go through everything meticulously in order to make sure that your evidence is going to stand the test of time.
Now looking into our African stories, the UK Commissioner to Kenya, Jane Marriott, congratulated Kenya on getting a seat at the United Nations Secretary non-executive member. Now Kenya is the latest African country to get a seat in the UN Secretary Council as a non-executive, replacing South Africa. Now, Kenya won the second round with 129 votes, while Djibouti got 62 after both countries not receiving the 2/3 of votes required in the first round. Now, the country joins Norway, Ireland, India, and Mexico, which were elected on Wednesday as non-permanent members for the 2-year term to commence on the 1st of January 2021. Now, let's just take a look at that clip.
One seat. Number of ballot papers, 192. Number of invalid ballots, 1. Number of valid ballots, 191. Abstentions, 0. Number of members present and voting, 191. Required 2/3 majority, 128. Number of votes obtained, Kenya 129, Djibouti 62. Having obtained the required 2/3 majority of members present and voting and the greatest number of votes, Kenya is elected a member of the Security Council for a 2-year term beginning on 1 January 2021. I congratulate Kenya on its election as a member of the Security Council. The voting process is complete. Thank you.
Yes, you know what I like about our show, Rory, is that, we are actually involving youth. Like I said, right now you are part of that youth, and I enjoy, working with you and listening to you, reading and all. So that is who we are in Galaxy, involving and working with the youth and directors, young directors, young producers, young makeup artists, and of course, our young producer, Rory Sangwana Khatswani. So just quickly before we go on the break, Rory, I just want to know, how has your experience been like, working with Galaxy, and then of course, right here in the TV industry, camera, lights and action.
I must say it's really a great opportunity to be given this platform. I think provided that I am from an economics background, that's what I studied at school, but to actually be here and to actually just share, some of your skills and knowledge in this platform, I must say it's something very amazing.
Oh, wonderful. So what have you learned so far, in this TV, lights and camera industry?
Well, number one, I've learned that you work with different people in the industry. You have and different characters. Yes. You work with different people. And number one, you just need to know who you are. You need to stand your ground and be true to yourself, because you're going to meet an Auspalesa, and I will never be you. So it's just up to me to actually just believe in myself enough to be who I'm meant to be, and just be the best version of myself while I'm here, because you'll never be the next person. So I guess that's one thing I've learned, just to stand your ground, believe in yourself, and just take the bull by its horn.
Oh, there you go. You're speaking like an economist, take the bull by its horn. But do you think that maybe you'll go back, and maybe work in your industry that you're studying for?
Maybe one day. Who
You
knows?
never know.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But otherwise, so let us take a very short break. When we do come back, we do have another youth, that we bring into you on the line, and that is Retabile Lichele. Yeah. So stay tuned and don't go away. This is still Galaxy Universal Network. Stay tuned.
Very good morning and a warm welcome to Galaxy News. My name is Sanda Nomusaka Kwabekuto, and this is Pan-African Morning. Of course, I'm not going alone. I'm going with my co-host, the one and only, the Pan-African woman, Balisa Motumayane. How are you, my darling?
I'm wonderful, Bahai Sudumelang. Yes, welcome to the Pan-African Morning right here on Galaxy Universal Network.
Galaxy Universal Network is a company owned by 5 directors. As I have said, the CEO is led by our able woman, and we are black-owned company. And as such, part of our mission, vision, sacrifice, and choices is to conquer the African continent. By that I mean from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Algeria, Kenya, Tanzania, from Cape to Cairo, my sister. However, part of our plan and our mission is to provoke the mindsets and the hearts of the African people by telling untold stories in an authentic way, in an unbiased way, in a way that has never been told before.
I think the most important thing in life is about growth. From where you were, I always tell young people we must compete with our yesterday. And I got to prison. I had said, okay, right now they have sentenced me to effective 7 years. So what next? What am I going to do with my time? And I remember telling one of my very good friends, close friend, Nathan Mariaramut, I said to him, when I leave this place, I'm going straight to a man that sentenced me. He was taken aback. He couldn't understand why would you go back to a man. Of course, he thought I wanted to harm this man. I said it's because that man changed my life. So there's something that's called time. When I'm talking to young people, we must always redeem the time. I no longer live in times, but I live in moments because I understand what the freedom means. So because of the wrong decision that I've made one day, I was told in the most hopeless of places, which was prison, I had to start building all over again.
Welcome back. Yes, you're still with us right here on the Mid Express Show. You are with us right here on Galaxy Universal Network. Yes, this is channel 500 on StarSat. And of course, as we are still in the spirit of the Youth Month, we are joined on the phone line by impacting rather greatly to peers.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I was reading that, but otherwise we are joined on the line by a very youthful Retabile Lichaba, who's also a motivational speaker, right?
Yes.
Retabile, welcome to the Mid Express Show right here on Galaxy. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me, Balisa.
Great, wonderful. Retabile, tell us about yourself. What is it that you do?
Okay. So I am a woman called to impact lives. I am a mother, friend, sister, and I'm also a brand strategist.
Okay, wonderful.
So I hear that you are a founder of the Beautiful Scar Foundation. Can you just tell us a little bit more about what that foundation is all about?
Okay, so Beautiful Scar started as a conversation, and this is a conversation that would happen with people who've just been through the most in life. And these are ordinary people, but they're doing extraordinary things in life. So what I do is that I give them a platform to be able to speak about their life experiences. Now, they would not ordinarily have the platform to speak on a TV or a radio platform. So what I do is that I invite them on my YouTube channel, Rethabile Chela, and I interview them about their life experiences and give them that platform. But apart from me interviewing them about their life stories, we need to find out what it is that they're doing to now grow their brand and not just say, I've been through 1, 2, 3. So as a result of that, I've added a business element where I help brand whatever it is that they're busy with. Okay. So that is essentially what Beautiful Sky is about.
So what inspired you as a woman, or rather a young woman, a mother, a sister, as you say, to come up with Beautiful Scar
Yes.
Foundation, Open Scar Foundation?
So what inspired me definitely has to be my own life experiences. And because on a daily, I have people coming to me and saying, can I confide in you? So that's how I started. And I always say that I think I'm a counselor by calling and not necessarily by profession. Because I always find people who say, hey, you should do life coaching because you're so good at these things. But it's really something that God has gifted me with, to be able to give me the ability to listen to people's life stories and for them to open up. But also, as I said, my own life experiences have helped me to be relatable because of the things that I've gone through in my life, having lost my mother, having lost so many things in my life. I'm now able to speak from a place of being able to be relatable to them.
You know, in one of the clips that we actually saw on your Instagram page, I think maybe you were inspiring or motivating people, but then I think we are mainly focusing on gender-based violence, you know. What would you say is maybe one of the stories that touched you so much, or rather touched, you know, that you can actually tell us about,
Yes.
you know, in all the inspirational stories that you've probably received or have met?
Yeah. So I think one story that particularly stands out has to be a young inspirational lady who lost her family members in a car accident. So they were on a family trip, and I think about 5 family members, they were involved in an accident, and about 5 family members lost their lives, including both her parents, her son, and brothers. So that for me was nerve-wracking, but it was inspirational to see that she was now doing something about her life. And if you ask yourself, when you're going through something, that if somebody who has lost so much is still carrying on with their lives, what more can you do?
So Rethabile, I just want to know the process that you take in order to, you know, get to the women to that peak in their lives where they are now taking control of their lives. Like you said that they have been through the most, and then what are some of the processes that you do or you put in place to actually just get them there?
So I always say that the point is not just to talk. Yes, talking is good, but you need to be able to find something from me after having spoken to me. I don't just want to walk away having just spoken. So what I do is that I look for institutions that are willing to offer counseling. The first thing in healing is to acknowledge that you've been bruised, that you're hurting, and that there are certain things that you're unable to overcome. So I try and seek counseling sessions with them so that they can go through the entire process. And I always say that although it's beautiful scar, we look at the scar and not the wound. So it means that you've been through the process of healing. But what happens if you have not healed? We don't close you outside and say, hey, you cannot talk to us. No. When you are in that process, then that's where we look for intervention from outside so that you can focus on healing.
So, Rethabile, where to from now, and where do our viewers find you?
Well, right now, I'm Rethabile Chela on all social media platforms. I've also just started something else. I have people approaching me who say, you know what, I want to start a radio show. I want to go into the broadcasting space, but I don't know what to do. And I've started a hashtag Radio Find Me. So it's an Instagram live where I speak to aspiring radio talent, and I also connect them with people who are already industry experts within broadcasting, and we allow them the space to showcase their talent, and the industry experts to join in and tell them where they can improve and which channels to follow. So it's that hashtag Radio Find Me, and on all social media platforms it's Rethabile Chela.
Wonderful. I'll definitely follow you on Facebook and on Instagram, because I know, I'm very much busy there.
Thank you so much. So it's across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere.
No, thank you so much, Rethabile. I think it's a really great initiative that you are taking upon to actually inspire the youth, especially the women, especially in this day and time. We are faced with so much with the gender-based violence. We thank you and we wish you all the best with your foundation.
I thank you so very much for the opportunity, and keep giving other people platforms as well.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank
you. I think we do have a video clip, right, of Rethabile that we have to play, right?
Have a video clip?
Yeah.
But I guess we can just find it.
Let us just take a short break, and then when we come back, we will be bringing you more news and updates right here on Galaxy Universal Network. Stay tuned.
Very good morning and a warm welcome to Galaxy News. My name is Sandra Nomusaka Kwabekuto, and this is Pan-African Morning. Of course, I'm not going alone. I'm going with my co-host, the one and only, the Pan-African woman, Balisa Motumunyan. How are you, my darling?
I'm wonderful, Bahai Sudumelang. Yes, welcome to the Pan-African Morning right here on Galaxy Universal Network.
Galaxy Universal Network is a company owned by 5 directors. As I have said, the CEO is led by our able woman, and we are black-owned company. And as such, part of our mission, vision, sacrifice, and choices is to conquer the African continent. By that I mean from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Algeria, Kenya, Tanzania, from Cape to Cairo, my sister. However, part of our plan and our mission is to provoke the mindsets and the hearts of the African people by telling untold stories in an authentic way, in an unbiased way, in a way that has never been told before.
I think the most important thing in life is about growth. From where you were, I always tell young people that we must compete with our yesterday. And I got to prison. I had said, okay, right now they have sentenced me to effective 7 years. So what next? What am I going to do with my time? And I remember telling one of my very good friends, close friend, Nathan Mariramut, I said to him, you know, when I leave this place, I'm going straight to a man that sentenced me. He was taken aback. He couldn't understand why would you go back to a man. Of course, he thought I wanted to harm this man. I said it's because that man changed my life. So there's something that's called time. When I'm talking to young people, we must always redeem the time. I no longer live in times, but I live in moments because I understand what the freedom means. So because of the wrong decision that I've made one day, I was told I'm in the most hopeless of places, which was prison. I had to start building all over again.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in the Midday Express right here on Galaxy Universal Network. And before the break, we had a beautiful interview with Rethabile, the founder of Beautiful Scar Foundation, now which inspires and motivates young women to become best versions of themselves. Now, she also mentioned that with one of the initiatives right now, she has a hashtag, Radio Find Me, where she tries and to locate your broadcasters or people in the entertainment industry and pairs them up with your aspiring talents. I guess it's a beautiful initiative to be seeing during this youth month as well, Palisa, don't you think?
Of course, especially during this youth month, as you say, what inspires me about, most people, especially young women and most youth today, is that they're going out there, like selling themselves and doing things for themselves. Like there's a saying that I actually like to follow. It says, if you can see it, you can definitely have it. So just make sure that, see it, look at your vision, dream it, see it, smell it, and definitely for sure, you can follow up on that one, and then you will definitely have what you aspire in life, what you follow.
Yeah, because I feel like the time is only now, Palisa. When you are young, that's the one time to actually go after your dreams.
You only live like once,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Age doesn't stop, you grow, and one day if you look back in your life, you must look back and say, you know what, I've actually done this and I've come this far.
No, that's amazing.
Anyway, that was all we had for you this afternoon, or rather this midday right here on Galaxy Universal Network. Make sure that you follow us, on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Of course, we are also very big on Facebook. So yeah.
Yes, and that is at Galaxy Universal Network. Do not forget to share all your stories on all our social media platforms. And that is all we had for you today from the Midday Express. Nakalibiso ke Rorisang Wanahatswane.
Nakalibiso ke Palisa Muchuminyane di roba tlhakola tsa kgamba se di amphela tse di reng di a roba di a sele balete salang sentle.
Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful!
This is exactly what I was looking for.
DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat.